Oklahoma may not be my favorite musical, but has one of my favorite characters. Hidden amongst all the silliness of obtuse romantic interactions and the face-palming silliness that is the Peddler Man, Ado Annie, and Will, there's one character who for the most part stands above all this BS, Aunt Eller. Throughout the show, she's witty, funny, and knows when to use force to get what she wants, and to make sure that she's not cheated just because she's an old woman. She's eternally baffled as to why Lori doesn't come out and say that she just likes Curly. She very quickly figures out how to defuse the mere stabbing of Curly without having a fight break loose, and she very sternly puts her foot down and get everyone to stop fighting over what the farmer did or how the cowmen are like. But my favorite Aunt Eller moment comes at the very end, in between the final showdown between Curly and Judd and Curly's murder trial. As Aunt Eller comforts Lori, she explains to her that things will just happen in life. Terrible things like being old, sick, poor, and hungry, or even being caught up in a situation where someone is mortally wounded. And the advice that Aunt Eller gives Lori is that she needs to be hardy. Now, both the 1955 and the 1999 versions have slightly different scenes where Aunt Eller says different things, but they're still basically the same. There are times where you just need to be strong. You need to look at the good things and the bad things and say, all right then. And this should not be confused with, you always have to be strong. You can never let yourself cry or ask for help. We know Aunt Eller doesn't mean that because in the very next scene, she helps Lori and Curly out by convincing everyone to hold the trial at her farm and essentially forcing the federal marshal to allow it to happen. And even though how they carry on the court proceeding is really illegal, and the only reason why they're able to play it off as okay is because we know Curly is in the right, the point is that she's not fully expecting Lori to carry on for herself. Eller just doesn't want her niece to completely crumble at every time something like this happens. And that really speaks to me personally because most of my life has been just soldiering on when times get rough. There's a time for tears, but there's also a time for being hardy, hardening up your shell, and just dealing with what's in front of you. When things are at least put to a side, then you can break down and let yourself be shaken. And I think that's a rather important life lesson for us. People often use the term life isn't fair as a justification for being a jerk, but in just the sentiment alone, there is truth. Things will often go worse than not going your way, but it's weatherable. Even if you need to ask for help, you can get through it. You just need the Constitution. And this speech really helps to give an idea of how Aunt Eller got the way that she is. Her take no crap from anyone and just let silly things roll off her shoulders attitude. They don't need to tell us why she lives alone with Lori or the specific events that got her to where she is. It's already hinted at, and frankly that's good enough. Again, this falls into the category of enjoying seeing my personal experiences broadcasted on either the big screen or on stage. And even better is that this hearty sentiment isn't necessarily surrounded by the pull yourself up by your bootstraps mentality that many people will use to dismiss other people's problems. Aunt Eller isn't saying that Lori just needs to forget all that's happened. Hell, she tells her to not even try. What she does say is to not dwell on it, because frankly, there's nothing Lori can do, and letting it weigh on her for the rest of her life isn't going to help. Thank you very much for consuming this video, and until next time.